Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and you know Andy's here freezing with me.
Oh my God, Michael.
It's like we're always complaining. It's either too hot or it's too cold, Andy. What the hell?
These morning shoots, baby, in the wintertime, oh my God.
What do you mean? I turned the heater on a whole hour ago.
Oh, a whole hour.
A whole hour ago, Andy. It's perfectly content.
It's perfectly on.
It's okay. It'll be great in here in about 5 hours.
Right, tomorrow it'll be great.
Long after we're gone. But guys, before we get into this, this is one of them palate cleanser type cases.
I believe
honestly,
so.
They're fun. I love these art heist cases because there's nothing you can't joke about. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But I like this one in particular because it's Dali, and I am, if you don't know me, I'm a huge Dali fan. I have 3 Dali paintings in my room. I freaking love Dali.
Some of the art you've done yourself has some very Dali and inspirations behind it.
Big inspiration to me, absolutely. And when I found out that one of his paintings was stolen, I was intrigued, but it's even funnier, the painting, which I have linked in the sources below the description of this episode. Go down there in the sources, and I put, check out the painting here. It's cool. It's actually a picture of when the painting was presented to the prison. Okay. And it's a depiction of the crucifixion. Yeah. Okay. But what's funny about the picture that I've linked is that in the background, you see another picture of another painting of the crucifixion already hung on the wall in the jail. And it's just comical how silly it looks.
Comparatively.
You really need to check it out. But guys, before we get into it, please also check out Patreon. Patreon.com/TrueCrimeGuys, where you can support the show for just $3 a month. You can get access to these episodes 2 days early, ad-free, with bonus content. So it's a great deal, guys. And best thing about it is no ads. God, everything's got ads now.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to charge you and have ads.
Right.
Right? What are we, Netflix? What are we, Amazon?
No, I wish. We ain't got that kind of money. What you talking about?
No, not even close. But yeah, guys, today, though, we are talking the Rikers Island art heist. It happened on March 1st, 2003, and it was when 4 prison guards had the brilliant idea to steal an original Dali painting, although not his best work. I mean, not his best work, Andy, and we'll talk about why the painting was made in that fashion. Anyways, it's pretty fun.
Art is in the eye of the beholder, okay?
Right. It was an original Dali, okay? Yes. It was an original, authentic Dali, But they chose to steal it and replace it with a very elementary copy. I mean, very.
Yeah, basically a fucking screen print copy.
Not good. Not good. But yeah, the story of how the painting got there in the first place, honestly, is almost as good as the heist itself.
A little bit.
It really is. It really is. So let's get into it, Andy. Roll that intro.
Right you are.
Who, sir, is the greatest living painter in the world?
Today, Dali. But, modesty is not my specialty. Believe that today the best painter is Dali. But see, Dali compare my painting, the painting of Dali, of the big masterpiece of Renaissance period, Desenque Velasquez and Raphael, or Vermeer. In this moment, Dali is absolutely nothing. Dali is only good because the other painters is so bad.
I'm totally hypnotized by your magnetism.
Thank you. My work consists in the meticulous execution of my dreams. And the dreams, the best...
You dream your paintings?
In dream, Dali dream in glorious technicolor.
Then you go back to Spain
All right, so to truly appreciate this story, we got to go all the way back to 1965.
God, I wish.
All the way back. February 26th, 1965. On that day, Salvadore Dali woke up with a temperature of 101. And he realized that his plans that day weren't going to happen. He had agreed to visit Rikers Island, the New York City jail complex, if you're unfamiliar, located just off the shores of the Bronx. And he was going to paint with prisoners.
Oh, okay.
Share some techniques. The Rikers Island warden at the time was a lady named Anne Cross. And she was big into like rehabilitating prisoners. So this was kind of her thing. She was like, maybe if I can get somebody as big as Salvadore Dali to come, these prisoners will listen, they'll pay attention. But also, Salvadore Dali was a sucker for a media stunt.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not shy of the spotlight.
See, that sounds like something Bob Ross would do out of the goodness of his heart, and not even
Nobody would even know.
Yeah, no one would know that Bob was going to fucking prisons and painting with prisoners. It wouldn't be documented. It wouldn't be filmed. It would just be him being like, "All right, guys, we're gonna have a little some happy accidents today."
Exactly.
I know a lot of you guys were in here for some unfortunate accidents, and so we're gonna keep that train rolling.
Right, we're going to have some happy ones. Level things out. But Dali, no, he was a sucker for the media stunt, and he made sure he was going to show up with a lot of reporters. Not only was he going to show up with reporters, he was going to bring his wife and his pet ocelot.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy, right?
His fucking ocelot.
You know how cool that would be? But yeah, it would have been a spectacle, but alas, it didn't happen.
A pet ocelot.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Very Archer of him.
It is. You should Google that. Some cool pictures.
Oh, God, I've seen it.
Him and his ocelot.
I've seen his pet ocelot.
I meant the listener.
Oh. Don't tell me what to do, Michael.
Yeah, not you, Andy. You do what you want.
Keep my hands in my pockets where it's warm.
But yeah, so Dali had to bow out, right? There was no way he could make the trip. So from his suite in Midtown Manhattan, he threw together a painting, a sketch, really, honestly. And it was kind of like an apology. And he asked his assistant to actually take it to the prison in his absence. And like I said, the photo from the news press conference that day is linked below the description of this episode. And it shows Dali's assistant presenting the Riker's warden and a cross with the untitled piece. It wasn't even titled.
Yeah, he just signed it in the bottom,
It's just
right?
signed, yeah. It was 5 by 3 foot, just a haberdashery of brushstrokes, honestly. But it does resemble Christ on the cross. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I immediately see that.
Yeah, it does look like a guy on a cross.
It does. It does. I mean, and Dali did sign and date the work in the lower right-hand corner. So, I mean, it is a legit Dali. Mm-hmm. But for nearly 2 decades, it hung there in the prisoner's mess hall. And in 1981, after an inmate threw a coffee cup at it and it broke the glass and it left a stain on the painting, they were like, okay, let's take it down. I don't know if that was intentional or if, like, he threw it at somebody else and they ducked.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really unclear. Some articles write it like, oh, this prisoner was a critic, or, this prisoner hated it. It made him feel awful.
It made him feel
It's
awful.
like, I don't know if it was that much or if it was just like some dude got mad and somebody ducked.
I just love that they were literally, for decades, it was in the prison mess hall.
Yeah, dude.
An original Dali painting was hanging in the Rikers Island cafeteria.
Yes.
So what could have been in a museum, literally, I know this sounds like very Indiana Jones of it. It belongs in a museum. But literally, a damn near what would be considered a priceless piece of art was in a prison cafeteria for 20 years.
Yeah. This in particular piece, I don't know. Just
Priceless?
because definitely not. Definitely
I give you about
not.
tree figure.
And we'll talk about the value later. But when it was taken down, a warden sent it off to the dealer to authenticate it. I don't know who the warden was at that time. It wasn't Ann Cross anymore.
Yeah.
But the painting was then shipped to a Virginia gallery for temporary display in a prison art exhibit. And then after its return, the Dali was boxed up in a storage crate and forgotten again. It's kind of weird that they put it in a prison art exhibit because it's not prison art.
No, it's not done by prisoners.
It wasn't done in prison, even. It wasn't done by Dali at the prison. It was done by Dali in his Manhattan suite. It's not prison art in any way, shape, or form other than the fact that it was donated to a prison.
Yeah, right.
Which seems weird. But at one point, it even actually made its way to the trash bin, dude. It was going to be thrown out. But one of the prison guards saw it and was like, you kidding me? This is a real freaking Dali.
You guys see that name on the bottom?
Guys. So he saved it. And finally, it ended up in the lobby of Eric M. Taylor Center, which is one of Riker's 10 jails on their campus.
Yeah, it's a big facility.
It's a big facility. And there, it hung under fluorescent lights just a few feet away from a Pepsi machine.
This is
just sitting there glowing in
this
the
is
fucking
literally just
hum.
the disrespect of this painting over time.
Isn't it, dude?
It seems like it would just be like a time lapse of what this painting has gone through, like
It's
just a
heartbreaking.
comical scene of just like, it's on the wall, coffee hits it, goes over here, goes in the box, goes in the trash, goes in the wall, goes next to the Pepsi machine. It's just this very quick time lapse.
The whole
of this-
time you just have that blue Pepsi glow and hum behind you.
as the time goes on, the face of the Christ just gets sadder and sadder on the cross. Just
His head just hangs a little bit more.
just
It's just awful. But at the time, even next to the Pepsi machine, a plaque hung next to it and it proclaimed that it was worth $1 million.
again, it's a Dali painting. It's worth whatever someone will pay for it.
That's true.
To be fair, that's how art really is. Like, if you had some serious Dali collector, they'll spend whatever that thing goes for at auction.
No, I agree.
So yeah, art is whatever the highest bidder will pay for it. I hate that they're like, it's appraised at $1 million. Says fucking who? That guy? That's what he'll pay for it.
Right, yeah.
That's not what Greg will pay for it.
Well, a lot of times they go off similar art pieces,
Yeah.
which in Dali's case, he has done lots of crucifixion pieces. That was kind of like his go-to. When somebody was like, could you do a piece for this? He'd be like, yeah, sure, I can do a crucifixion.
Yeah, let me throw a guy on a tee real quick.
Yeah, exactly. So that brings us to the day of the heist. It is 1 a.m. on March 1st, 2003. A fire drill siren goes off inside the Eric M. Taylor Center. 2,000 inmates were immediately locked down. Guards rushed from their post and convened in a remote wing, as they had been trained to do. And this made for the perfect scenario. So now the jail's lobby was deserted, and the thieves could get to work. One stood watch, another worked with the locks, and the third kept tabs on the fire drill's progress and where the other guards were. Within a few minutes, a replica of the Dali hung in the place of the old one. The substitute was far from a perfect match.
It's far
From a perfect match, Andy. And the thief standing guard wasn't convinced. He said, "That looks ridiculous."
Did you? You couldn't even scan it. You could have traced it. Come the fuck! You've seen this thing every day.
Dude. Check this out. This is 2003. You guys could have took a good picture and had literally a copy printed out at like
Kinko's.
Office Max, like a poster size. You know what I'm saying? And then put that up there.
Exactly. This was not the fucking 60s when you did this. Either way, who fucking drew this?
Yeah.
Oh my god, is that colored pencil? You son of a bitch.
It is.
I can see Crayola when I fucking tell.
It didn't take long, dude. A few hours is all it took. That's all it hung there for.
It took one guy just walking by and just glancing out of the corner of his eye, just being like,
What the fuck?
is that?
Where'd the Dali go?
Does that say?
No.
Does that say deli on the
No,
bottom?
it was actually 2 prison guards were standing there talking about it. Can you imagine? Yeah, and they're like, something's off about this thing. You know what's funny, Andy? This is one of those few cases where all of the detectives and everybody involved is from Brooklyn. So we can actually use our accent that we use for everybody, and it will actually be relevant.
Watch it. There's been one fucking episode where we try to do a Brooklyn accent, and it just comes out fucking terrible.
It's just going to be...
Was that Australian? What if?
Swear to God, if you use a different accent for this.
all these prison guards come out. Crikey, mate! The Dali painting's missing.
Exactly. But yeah, these 2 guards, they noticed something's off. It seemed smaller, and in place of a carved mahogany wood frame, this one just had a thick brown outline painted around the edge.
This fucking styrofoam? What the fuck?
Yeah, it was obviously a fake. It must have been an inside job, you know? Everybody figured this out pretty quickly. Riker's officials were not deterred. They were like, nah, this... Inmates couldn't have even accessed the lobby at the time. Their surveillance camera that was pointed at the Dali mysteriously stopped working that night. Wow.
That one camera.
Exactly. So, yeah, they immediately started looking at the guards on duty that night, and the lead guard on duty was Benny Nuzzo. Nuzzo?
I don't care. That guy sounds like he's a fucking...
Nuzzo?
That guy sounds like he's a foot soldier in the mafia. It says Benny Nuzzo.
Nuzzo, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to say Nuzzo.
Benny Nuzzo. He'll break your knees.
Exactly. And Benny Nuzzo was a tough guy.
Which you're
going to find out. You're going to find out. He's a tough old Italian bird, man.
Benny Nuzzo. That's a thick name right there.
Well, shortly after old Benny returned home on March 1st from his shift at Riker's, his phone rang. It was a buddy from Riker's telling him that the Dali got snatched.
Oh, you mean that ugly guy? I picture that guy on the wood.
What the fuck was that? That scribble.
Who wants that?
Yeah, Nuzzo said, "Who gives a shit?" His friend says, "They're saying you're involved." Nuzzo thought that was bullshit, but he wasn't surprised because he believed the Department of Corrections kind of had it out for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, had it out for him. And he wasn't shy about reminding some of his coworkers how they behaved before they moved up the chain. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys.
Oh, okay, Benny.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you.
Yeah.
I remember you. I remember what you did.
Oh.
I'll remember this when I get to where I'm going.
We went through the academy together, Phil. Huh? You think you're so much better than me?
I know your brother.
Yeah, exactly. So while the higher-ups disliked him, he was actually pretty well respected by everyone that worked on his shift, and maybe even feared a little bit.
Maybe even feed.
Yeah. I don't think that's saying too much. And he could easily give investigators a whole timeline of his shift, dude. He was ready. He had an alibi, right? He'd overseen the fire alarm response team. He shot pool with a few other guards after the drill ended at 2 a.m. He made his rounds. He watched some TV, filled out some paperwork. A normal night. What do you want from me?
Listen, I knew you guys were going to ask me about this. Every fucking day I get out of my shift, I'm like, they're going to fucking ask me what I did. I keep a goddamn list.
He probably did. Plus, he said he couldn't care less about the Dali, which just made investigators even more suspicious, honestly. But he said to him, it looked like scribble. He said, my son could do better than that.
This guy legitimately does sound like a Riker's guard. This guy, as soon as this guy actually started talking to the investigators, I feel like there was one New York investigator who was like, yeah, I don't think this is that guy. I mean, to be fair, the painting's kind of shit,
Yeah, the painting is shit.
I wouldn't want that in my living room.
We're going to meet the lead detective here in a minute, and he actually really likes Nuzzo.
Of course
he's also an old Italian guy, Caruso.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Caruso.
Oh, Caruso. These names, dude, they're perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it really is like a movie. But Nuzzo wasn't the only guard under suspicion, right? So they definitely were going to check out everybody else. And when Riker's guard Timothy Pena got home that night, he felt guilty.
Yeah,
very,
a little bit.
Very guilty. Like, so guilty that he contemplated suicide.
Over what, Michael?
Oh, exactly. 16 years on the job, and, he thought he had flushed it all down the drain. So he felt like the only way to get out of this was he had to come clean. He had to go to the investigators, and he decided he'd tell them everything.
Okay. Tell us, Michael.
So Detective Mike Caruso had pretty much the easiest job ever. He really did. He arrived at the Taylor Center the morning after the theft. Caruso and his team, they watched the parking lot surveillance video. They checked to see who'd left the island the night before. They read through logbooks, comings and goings, everything like that, right? And within hours, they'd honed in on the prior night's unscheduled response drill. The jail rarely had drills at all, and no one could recall one ever occurring during the night.
Yeah, right? A fire drill in the middle of the night? Okay.
Yeah, the cover was almost a little too obvious.
Right?
Yeah.
And when is this again? This is in February? It's a little...
Yeah.
You know how fucking cold it is in February in New York?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're going to do a fire drill just for no goddamn reason.
So,
to get anybody out of their cells, make everybody get up. No.
Right.
No.
Exactly. So naturally, they were already suspicious of these guards. So when Pena contacted the detective's office, Caruso's office, Caruso was like, "Heck yeah, let's talk." Mm-hmm. And Pena gave up everything. He said Benny Nuzzo and Mitchell Hockhauser, another assistant deputy warden, had approached him about stealing the Dali 4 months earlier. They assumed that the fake wouldn't be noticed for months, if ever.
Oh my God! Listen, man, we got this guy. Apparently, he can make a forgery of anything.
Yeah.
Look at his passport he gave me. Is that made of cardboard?
Is that? It's not even the right color. That's it.
God, what country is that from?
Right.
It says USV. What is it?
Why is it the size of a binder? It's never gonna. Like, it's
put
like
it on a
that's what
backpack?
cracked me up the most. Is like it wasn't even the same size, dude.
Right.
It's like if you're gonna make a copy, at least make it the same size, the dimensions.
Didn't even
Then
keep the same
people-
frame or even anything similar.
Right.
It is comical how bad they replace this forgery.
It
with.
really is.
This
It
is not a
really is.
forgery. It's not even a copy. This is something. It's like the forgery level is if you told somebody what the painting was of,
Yeah.
but they never got to see the original painting.
There you go.
You just really kind of tried to describe it to somebody.
Yeah.
Like, it's like this. It's got a guy. He's on a cross, kind of with these really, kind of shoddy brushstrokes here and there. About
Right,
this.
right.
It's about yay big. Like you just kind of you did it with your hands a little bit. It's like
Right.
yay.
Nuzo's over there with a
Yeah.
pencil. I got you.
It's about yay. He's about yay big, this big, a little bit about that.
Boom.
Guy's got,
What do you think?
This guy's arms like this. And this guy's like, okay. I was like this.
Yeah.
Kind of like this. Perfect.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
First draft.
This isn't to scale. Don't care. Give it to me.
You're done. Do I still have to pay you?
But in February, a month earlier, Pena said that Nuzo told him that the heist was on. And Pena had to be involved because he manned the front entrance security desk, which was pretty crucial. His cut would be $50,000, and Nuzo and Hockhauser would split the rest. So it's actually be Pena would get $50,000 plus another man that was involved, Sokol, who we'll get to in a minute, also got $50,000. They were planning on getting 4. Okay. So
Okay.
then they thought that they would split the other $300,000 among themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, Hockhauser and Nuzo.
Right. We haven't,
So-
even really been introduced to Hockhauser yet.
We have not. He's just come up in the interrogation. But as I alluded to, they still needed a 4th member, someone who could stand watch in the small room next to the lobby. It's the only other place that could see the Dali. So they decided to bring in Gregory Sokol, a 38-year-old Staten Island resident and Riker's guard who often carpooled with Pena. After confessing to Caruso, Pena begged to go home. But Caruso already had one guy talking, and he was going to get another. He wanted Sokol.
You don't get to go home yet,
No,
dude.
no.
You just confessed to a crime. We got to finish out the whole thing.
home.
So yeah, man, I told you everything I needed. I told you what I did, right?
Yeah.
The game's on at 6, right? The Jets are playing.
Caruso's like, no. You're very involved in this. So later that night, Pena was to wear a wire to the Java Den, a coffee shop in Staten Island Strip Mall, where Sokol was waiting for him. Pena's excuse for the meeting was just the fact that the heat from the investigation was getting to be too much. He needed someone to talk to. He needed someone to unload on. Sokol felt very similar. He says, I can't sleep. I can't function. I can't go on like this. So both of them are getting super paranoid, right?
Oh yeah, obviously, because they didn't
Right.
want to do this in the first place.
Exactly. They wish they'd never gotten involved. Pena and Sokol both vowed that they wouldn't rat on each other. Sokol said, I would never say that you had anything to do with it. Never. Sure. You're like my brother, Pena agreed. They talked for hours, and they said goodbye a little before 10 p.m. As soon as Sokol got into his car, though, investigators swooped in, and he fell apart on the spot. He agreed to talk, and they took him right down to the station. When Caruso walked into his office, I guess they had Sokol waiting in Caruso's office for a little bit. When Caruso finally walked in, Sokol was actually curled up on the floor, crying.
Oh my god,
Dude,
these guys seriously
it's crazy.
I felt well. They did say like these guys did feel like they were going to be killed if they did not help. They were really afraid of Nuzo.
Yeah, they were.
They really did feel like these guys were going to hurt them or do something bad to them if they did not help them with this heist.
No doubt. But Sokol said that he had only learned of the Dali scheme a few weeks prior, and Pena had given him the rundown on just a regular ride to work. On the night of the theft, he was to alert the on-duty officers about the fire drill and emphasize that everyone needed to attend. So, he says this is how it went down. At 1 a.m., Hockhauser got on the radio and announced the drill. Then he watched from a staging area outside the control room. The location was perfect for keeping people away from the scene. Just beyond the control room, a long corridor led to different wings housing the prisoners' dorm rooms. It was Hockhauser's job to ensure that the guards stayed within those wings, because he was actually he's the same level as Nuzo, Hockhauser is, right? So he can command the lower level guards. So now with the lobby empty, Pena pulled on latex gloves and used a key to open the 2 locks to the glass case that held the painting. He eventually got the original out, handed it to Nuzo, who then ran it out the front door to the parking lot. And that was the last any of the guys saw of the painting. That's what Sokol said. About a minute and a half later, Nuzo comes back with the exact replica.
With a
spitting image.
Just a replica.
It was just slightly smaller and made with different materials on different material. That's all.
This painting right here would have fooled the Pawn Stars themselves. I swear to God.
No doubt. But like he did at least went to the extent of making the words pretty authentic. He, just like the real one, the fake one had a misspelled word, dining. So in the original, Dali put for the dining room of the prisoners in Riker's Island, right? But he put 2 N's in dining.
The dinning room.
The dinning room. So in the fake, they did that as well. They thought they were very clever.
That's very clever, guys.
Very clever.
Did you mean to do that, or can you just not spell? What do you mean? Oh, there's a misspelling in it? Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it didn't take much to spot the differences. Dali painted the original on paper in India ink, applying a small amount of, is that gouache?
Gouache?
Gouache to accent Christ's face. And then he glued it to a cardboard mount, right? The fake, meanwhile, was oil paints on canvas with a painted-on frame.
Painted-on frame.
And since it wasn't mounted in any type of frame, it couldn't be hung up. So instead, Pina just stapled it to the wood on the back of the glass case.
God damn.
And then just shut it.
This is the amount of like haphazard things that they start throwing together at the end. This would make Danny Ocean just be like, oh my God. Flattery apparently is the greatest form of
exactly.
or whatever it is, but still it's like apparently.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. But anybody, Sokol said anybody who comes up here is going to see that this is a fake. So when Sokol returned to work the night after the heist, he said Nuzo told him that he had hidden the painting in the ceiling of his mother's Brooklyn home. Then he ripped it up after getting word that he was a suspect.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah,
right. You believe that?
I shredded that thing real quick.
Yeah, for real. So now, with 2 confessions down, Caruso needed to get Hockhauser and Nuzo. And he needed to find the painting, of course. And he knew it wouldn't be hard to convince Sokol to wear a wire, just like Pina did. And sure enough, Sokol agreed.
Anything. I promise anything.
Yeah, exactly. So Sokol told Nuzo and Hockhauser that he needed to talk. You know, he was worried that Pina had flipped. Oh, you see what they're doing here?
This is a very The Town type, very movie-esque flip they're doing here.
It really is.
It very much does seem like a movie plot.
Yep. So the 3 of them met shortly after midnight in the jail's basement. There was an old boiler rattling around in the background, and a stereo was blasting music as well. So that kind of is going to mess up any audio recordings. You got to keep that in mind, right? So the men ordered Sokol to take off his clothes immediately. They were like, nah, we don't, they're checking for a wire. They're not stupid. So he did what he was. He hung up his jacket on the locker room and stripped down to his underwear. No wire, because the recorder was in the pocket of the jacket.
Ooh, okay.
Why wouldn't you check the jacket?
Yeah, he immediately just takes, because they're so stuck in their mentality of like they've seen so many movies, they know that when someone's wearing a wire, it must be taped to their chest.
Right.
That's the only place a wire can be. There's no other place a recording device can be.
Right.
So let me see your chest.
Yeah.
They're literally, it's just 2 New York guys who worked in Rikers Island for a long time. Like, we've seen enough cop movies. I watched Law and Order.
But Nuzo, he actually, and he grew up in Brooklyn too, though. Like he probably, in his neighborhood, you became, part of the mob or prison guard.
You think I don't know about wearing a wire? My uncle wore wires all the time.
All the time. But Sokol worried aloud that Pina had taped both of them talking about the Dali, and he told the 2 of them that. Deny, 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 Hockhauser told Sokol. And if they get something on tape, then just tell them you were joking around. The only person that can give them you is you, Hockhauser said. We're not giving you up. You understand? So around this time, Nuzo left the basement. He left Hockhauser and Sokol there alone, and Sokol told Hockhauser that Nuzo had hidden the painting in his mother's house, and then later destroyed it. That's what he was told. Hockhauser said, nah. He thinks he's going to get away with this scot-free, and he's never going to give it back.
Yeah, they already. I think both of them already know he's not telling the truth.
No, I think Hockhauser did know the truth, though.
Oh yeah, I think they
Yeah.
all can tell. If they don't know it because he's actually told them,
Yeah.
they all know that Nuzzo has not just shredded $1 million.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to give that up that easily.
Exactly. And even though he kind of had this phrase here, even this little conversation, these little quotes from Hockhauser are pretty damning, but the recording was far from clear. And like I said, the stereo that's playing, the boiler that's running, it kind of drowned stuff out. And some of what the investigators heard was, ambiguous at best, But it was enough to get a search warrant for the Brooklyn home of Nuzzo's mom. Caruso was certain that Nuzzo was the ringleader. And during the weekend after the heist, NYPD combed Nuzzo's mother's apartment. They searched everything. They opened painted shut fireplaces, checked ceilings and walls. And Caruso was just badgering Nuzzo the entire time. He's like, dude, just give it up. Just tell us where it is. Nuzzo's like, I didn't take it. I didn't take it. He's like, find it if I took it, So a few days later, Caruso's team comes back to check Nuzzo's mom's home again. They're like, hold on, we might have missed something. So they case every floor in the 3-story building. They did not discover the painting, but they discovered 2 lockers that had a gun box, reams of unused logbooks, and other Riker's prison supplies.
So he's just like,
but no painting.
I didn't take a painting. You were looking for a painting.
You were looking.
Your warrant says nothing about looking for that. Okay,
Yeah.
so you didn't find a painting. So how about we don't ask any questions about the other shit under my floorboards?
Exactly. But they need something to badger him with, so they charged him with stealing more than $1,000 worth of supplies.
Oh yeah, fuck
So-
yeah.
So over the
Getting you on
next
something.
Exactly. So over the next few weeks, Caruso kept visiting Nuzzo, and he's like, "Come on, just come clean about it." He's like, "I know you did it,
Dude,
He's
we're
like,
gonna get you on something.
Seriously. But after 3 months, Caruso gave up trying. And he said, well, fuck it. Let's just charge them. So
Yeah.
he charged all 4 of them. All 4 showed up in court on the morning of June 17th. And of course, prosecutors were there accusing them of conspiring to steal the painting. And each faced up to 15 years in prison, okay, at the time because of the estimated value of the painting, which we'll get to. So 3 months after the arraignment, Hockhauser pled guilty to attempted grand larceny in the 2nd degree and received 1 to 3 years in prison. Pena pled guilty to grand larceny in the 3rd degree and was sentenced to 5 years probation, and Sokol, who was a cooperating witness, would get a deal for his testimony. Now, Nuzzo insisted on his innocence and was dead set on beating the charges, no matter what. He hired Joe Tacopina, a pricey celebrity defense attorney who handled very high-profile criminal cases, and he was ready to go to trial in May of 2004.
That is a very lawyer-esque name right there.
Yeah.
Joe Tacopina.
Tacopina.
Seems like he'd be on a bus thing, like a bus thing.
So,
every once in a while.
Yeah.
So like those the Saul Goodman buses, the bus
Right?
stations.
Yeah.
Got those little bus benches.
Yep.
Tacopina.
Tacopina. But yeah, he began his defense by attacking the price of the Dali first. This was very smart, right? The city valued it at $250,000. Now, according to the law at the time, the defendants convicted of grand larceny for stolen property worth less than $50,000 could only do up to 7 years in prison.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they wanted to get the value down below $50,000. That's the goal here. So Tacopina called in Alex Rosenberg, an appraiser who'd worked with Dali a lot. He called him to the stand. The Dali was more of a simple drawing than a painting, Rosenberg said, and in poor condition thanks to the coffee stain, the abrasions, and the water damage from when it was in storage. So he estimated its worth at about $20,000. And he compared it to a 1967 crucifixion scene of Dali's. This one was done in pen, ink, and in watercolor. And it's smaller than the Riker's painting, but the detail and color is so much better.
Yeah.
Okay? And it only sold for $34,000 in
Okay.
2001. Okay?
Still a pretty good penny though.
A good penny, but nowhere near 50.
No, or the
Okay.
original $1 million estimate that they said.
Exactly. Or more importantly, in this court session here, it's nowhere near 250,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then Tacopina went after Sokol. He started poking holes in his testimony. Since the guard was promised leniency for his cooperation, he kind of had motive to tell prosecutors whatever the hell they wanted to hear. You know what I mean? So they started poking holes at that. Sokol later ended up pleading guilty to a petite larceny misdemeanor and was given 3 years probation in order to pay a $1,000 fine.
I mean, it makes sense.
So, yeah. An acoustics expert also noted that the messed up recording in the basement just wasn't good enough. It was making it hard to tell who was talking, who was saying what. The voices were hard to tell apart. So it's just the defense was just, I mean, the prosecution's evidence was just falling apart.
Yeah, this
little
guy's
by
really,
little.
He's really poking holes in everything when he comes in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when the jury began deliberating, Tacopina came to Nuzzo with the deal from the DA's office. He said, if you plead guilty, they said you could serve 4 years and be done with it. Nuzzo said, no way. Tacopina said, John Gotti would take this deal. Nuzzo said, John Gotti is a criminal. I'm not.
John Gotti would have something to say about that, I think.
Right. But within 4 hours, the jury reached a verdict. Nuzzo was like, oh, no, this is bad. This is bad sign. He started taking off his watch. He started taking off his jewelry. He was looking at his family. He told them where his car was parked, so they could drive it home. And the jury foreman stood up and announced the verdict. Not guilty. You're free to go, the judge said.
God, could you imagine that?
Nuzzo shook Tacopina's hand and literally ran from the room. He said, I did not want them to change their minds.
I'm just imagining this guy just being like, as soon as they're like, all right, they finished, they already made up their minds. Oh, son of a bitch, just taking off his watch and being like, yeah, this is the same thing that happened with my Uncle Joey. Took him about 45 minutes, and then they told him he was guilty. He was going back to Rikers for not guilty. You son of a bitch. Just putting everything back on real quick, putting his tie back on. Okay, wait, give me my keys. I'm out of here. Thank you so much. Thank you
so much.
Just fucking runs out of the courtroom.
Exactly. So that's how it ended. So fast forward to June 2017, two men are sitting at a Queens diner, and their conversation sounds a lot like it did 14 years ago. How's your family? Caruso asked Nuzzo. And they talk about the Rikers wardens. They update each other on people they know through work, whatnot. Caruso is now 64, and he's a security consultant. Nuzzo is 65, and he was forced to postpone his carefully planned retirement. Shortly before his trial began, the Department of Correction fired him over the logbooks and the lockers found in his mom's house. And the early termination hurt his pension, and his defense tab ate up nearly $500,000 of his retirement savings. So now he works as a private investigator, looking into all kinds of little odds and end crimes, to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Suzo. He still got that money that he sold the painting,
Oh, I'm fucking sure he did.
Come on.
He's just got that painting somewhere just to try and make it last for as long as he can.
Yeah.
There's no way he shredded that painting.
No. And Caruso is convinced that he took it. He knows he did. Caruso just believes that the wire recordings were incriminating. He believes that they were good enough to convict him.
Oh, I believe so.
And I think it's just a nonviolent crime with not that much evidence. You got a guy who was a prison guard, not a prisoner. It's just hard to convict him. Mm-hmm. It really is. And you didn't find anything.
You could not find that painting. I mean, it's still funny that they were able to find so many other things that he did steal.
Right.
But not the one thing that they were looking for. It's like he fucks up his pension, he gets fired, he gets a bunch of debt piled up because of the trial, but it's like again, we didn't find the one thing we were looking for, but we did figure out that you were stealing from your job for a while.
Right. It's funny that there's no mention of them checking his home.
Yeah. He just because they could only really search the one place that he said he had stored it.
Yeah.
So they had that on recording saying he stored it there. But I mean, again, I feel like he was just telling the guys that.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't trust anybody. He didn't trust any of those guys not to flip. So they all had misinformation.
Yeah,
when he ran out with that painting, he knew none of them guys were ever going to see it or the money from it ever again.
No, he probably got rid of that painting the day of.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He already had an off. Mm-hmm. This guy was born and raised in Brooklyn.
Yeah, this guy probably unloaded that painting that night.
Had connections to the underworld. He's been in it. He works in freaking Rikers prison, for Christ's sakes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he already had an off for that painting. That's my belief. Yeah, he took it out. When he left work that night, it went to where it was sold.
Yeah. It did
That's
not
it.
go to his. It didn't go to his house or
Nope.
his mom's house. He
It was
probably
off. It
fenced
went on.
that night.
It went on a fucking boat that night, dude.
That
gone.
that painting is sitting in some private collector's house.
Yep.
Somewhere that they bought off the black market.
You know what's cool? Now it's worth a lot.
Oh, and now it's
now
worth way
if it's
more.
found, right? Maybe Dali orchestrated this to make his painting worth more.
Right? I could see
Yeah.
him doing something like that.
Yeah.
It's very, very media savvy person. He was probably dead by then, wasn't he?
He's like, I know how to make it worth something, even though it only took me 2 hours and it's probably one of my worst pieces.
When did he die, though? I'm trying to think. I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
When-
yeah, look it
when
up.
did Dali die?
2000s, right?
Salvadore.
Early 2000s? Was it?
No, he died in 89.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, he would have
Okay.
been dead for a while at this point. So, yeah, he didn't orchestrate this, Michael.
Nope.
So, yeah, he died in 89. So, this thing was done about 20 years before his death.
Interesting.
So, yeah, by the time it was already stolen, he's been dead for a while.
That's
So
a very good point.
I'm surprised. It's still one of those things. It's like they're saying it's only worth this much because again, it's not that great of a painting.
It's really not.
It's
and like I said, he did a lot of crucifixion stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of his go-to when he needed to whip up a piece of art.
yeah, it's a very easy thing for him to do real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just looking at a picture of the painting again. Yeah, it's not a great picture in the beginning of it, so I can understand why they estimated how much it is.
Yeah.
But still, it's a Dali. He's dead. It's one of a kind.
Right.
Everything of his is one of a kind.
That's
So-
true. It's true. And the mix of materials and stuff made it interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very much so. But again, Michael, this guy's art is, to me, it's priceless to the right person. And so
Yeah.
I firmly believe that painting is sitting in some private collector's house
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. Will if we ever see it again, it'll be years from now.
Yeah.
It may pop up in some auction or something like that. But yeah, I don't think that painting was ever destroyed.
I don't think so
I
either.
think it's somewhere hidden or someone's got it in a private collection somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
I believe he fenced it the very night, and then he just told the guys that he's holding on to it so he can get the money. He's already got the money.
Because like if it was worth 20,000 in 2003, dude, it's worth $100,000 now.
Yeah, and
I
that's
mean,
and you have no idea
minimum.
what he sold it for.
Minimum. Yeah.
he could have sold it to some fence for $50,000.
Yeah.
Some fence could like some some little underworld guy could have been like, that's an original Dali. Yeah, that thing could be worth millions. I'll
Yeah.
give you 50, I'll give you $100,000.
Yeah.
I could
exactly.
probably make $2 million off of it.
Right. Who knows?
Yeah, it's just a big underworld pawn shop. Come on.
Yeah. And like I said, in this story, this heist just makes it worth more.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he did hide it somewhere really good and he's just letting the value build up on it. And that's his new retirement plan.
It could very well. Well,
Yeah.
that would be
He's
a
like,
pretty
I'll
good
go
retirement
get
plan.
that shit out and sell it to the fence, 15 years from now.
Yeah, if I'm still around.
Holy shit. Yeah. But yeah, incredible story. A
love
fun
it.
one. I love a good art heist.
I love a good heist in general.
Yeah.
And especially
I know.
one that there's no real end to, that they technically they got
we
away
don't know
with.
where the painting is.
He technically got away with it.
Yeah.
Somebody got away
you
with
really
it.
think them prison guards really did all the time they were even given? I
No.
mean, they didn't. Even Hockhauser, 1 to 3 years. I bet he didn't even do one.
Barely.
I bet that dude did 6 months in prison and he's out. I mean, he
believe
knows
that.
how to work the system. He's a damn prison guard.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
Christ's sakes. I mean, he knows literally how, but then again, did he get put in Rikers? Surely not.
Would not have been a very good time for him.
That
if
would
he did.
not be good.
No.
Now, in that sense, I could see why they'd be curled up crying on the floor.
Yeah, very much.
In the interview room if they think they're going to Rikers.
Yeah, that might be a reason to cry. Mm-hmm. You could have a very rough time ahead of you.
Because I didn't talk about this much in the show, but Rikers, if you can imagine, doesn't have the best history of prisoner treatment.
No, it
They have quite a few abuse complaints every year. But also all that shit just kind of gets swept under the rug and unnoticed. And I think that's kind of what made these prison guards as brazen as they were with the crime. We're like, how could you put such a silly thing? Because they literally thought that if they just give all their testimony, 3 or 4 prison guards say, no, that's the original painting, they thought it would be taken as the word in the report.
Yeah.
And just not enough people would give a fuck. Mm-hmm. That's literally what they thought.
Yeah.
Because everything that they do, they get away with. When they punch a victim, they say, oh, they had to do a hold because the victim was being confrontational or whatever. Like they have a way of describing away these things. And so they just get away with it. They get away with it. They get away with this. They get away with that. They get away from taking from the prisoner's belongings, this and that. So they just get emboldened and embrazened because of this repetition of people up in the prison hierarchy or whatever not giving a shit what happens to the prisoners.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
simple as that. And so they think they can be overlooked. They don't care what happens in the prisons. And so therefore they thought, hey, when this heist gets reported, if it does get missing, nobody's ever going to give a shit. And by the time they do anything about it, we'll be gone. We'll be long in the wind.
Yeah, or we'll just have all the money already. Nobody's going to know.
Yeah.
That painting will never be found.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree, Michael. And we're getting into before we get into a very big private prisons rant, which I'm sure we could go into another 45 minutes on.
Don't get me started.
You know what these prisoners would be good if they had, Michael?
They need some Oh My Guy. I know.
That would be a very good thing
They
for
really
some
do.
prisoners to have.
They do.
Have a big shipment going out to Rikers, have a good
Right.
smelling Rikers Island. Just a whole island of smell good.
Right. I wish I could send them a whole bunch.
That'd be a great care package right there.
That would be. Because Oh My Guy is an innovative all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. And there's tons of scents to choose from at ohmygaia.com. That's OHMYGAIA.com. You can also check them out on Instagram at @shop_ohmygaia. Tell them that True Crime Guys sent you. And because you're True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the code word Crimepine for 15% off your order. That's Crimepine, no spaces, CRIMEPINE. The word is right below the description of this episode, as well as a link to ohmygaia.com. Guys, you won't regret it. It's natural deodorant, natural scented oils, natural beard oils. Too, guys, if you're growing your beard out this winter, pick you up something nice, something like lumberjack or leather or Egyptian musk or who knows.
that beard nice and
something
soft.
for everything, man. Great fall scents like True Crime Pine. Of course,
that's
one of my favorites.
That's a unisex year-round favorite.
Seriously. But guys, thank you so much for supporting our sponsors, the people that support us. We appreciate that very much. A great way for you to support us is Patreon, patreon.com/truecrimeguys, where you can get access to these episodes early, ad-free, usually 2 days early, ad-free, with bonus content, and as well as pretty much every audio file we've ever made. The first 60 episodes of the podcast are in the vault, and others will be vaulted as we go forward. So, guys, make sure you check that out. And I think that's pretty much it. I think we'll be back with another regular case next week, right, Andy?
Yes, we will,
And
Michael.
then headlines after that. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. Make sure you check out truecrimeguys.com and all of our links down below. Other than that, I guess you have to keep on creeping.
Bye!